Jameson Williams.
What a transition.
Impressing at OTAs. His route running, it was what Dan Campbell highlighted. So my question for you, Jeff, is we talked about this receiver preseason last year, right, before anything ever happened, knowing that he was coming off an ACL injury. And what was the conversation? Conversation was he's a good route runner out of Alabama, right? Mm-hmm. Speedster. Probably people assign him the deep threat, but he's really a yak guy, right? This is a guy that can beat you deep, has that in his bag, but really where he hurts you the most is on those underneath routes, play action, bubble screens, getting him out in space, and he makes everybody miss. That's the reason why he was on special teams at Alabama. So, Jameson Williams, I'm excited, obviously, to see him play healthy, fully engaged with the offense. Dan Campbell speaking on his route running is just a little, bonus here.
Right.
It's great to hear, but I need to see it on the field.
Yeah, I agree with that. I want to speak on just the maturity level of Jameson Williams because I think a lot of people question that. I got to give credit to him yesterday for speaking to the media. I know he had to, but the questions that they asked him, he handled all of them pretty well. I mean, from the suspension to liking the Lamar Jackson tweet on Twitter, they brought up everything to J-Mo, and so credit to him.
Yeah, but is that really...
I don't know if that was...
Is that a tough question? I mean, it's social media. Give the guy a break.
Yes, but of course he was hitting suspension. It was not too much.
If I like Colin Cowherd saying, I'm looking for a new co-host, does that mean I don't want to work with Jeff? Is that how you guys would take it? Honestly.
I mean, he liked a Lamar Jackson. I don't know if it was a jersey swap or him coming to the Lions. I don't know. You shouldn't do that, bottom line. It's just not – you're setting yourself up for failure. But for J-Mo on his route running, I'm excited. Even though I kind of made a joke about him working with Calvin Ridley, I mean, that's great. Calvin Ridley, when healthy, one of the best route runners in the NFL. So J-Mo, we know how fast he is. We know how explosive he is. But for his route running, and Matt Broder, Detroit Lions beat reporter for Woodward Sports, took some notes on it. And he talked to, and he sent us the cheat sheet so I can read it off to you guys. He went against Cam Sutton, actually, one-on-one in practice, which, there you go. You want to get better? You face your number one quarter, Cam Sutton. And Broder took some notes on Sutton holding his own against J-Mo, but again, it was back and forth. And he said specifically there was a play, and this is from Matt Broder, a play about 20 to 25 yards down the field where J-Mo hit a double juke move on Sutton that spun him around and left J-Mo wide open. The ball had already been thrown to another receiver down the sideline, but the move was special. His ability to plant and change directions with explosion is elite. And that's more of the positive stuff with J-Mo, is the route running. He looks clearly 110% healthy. You'd like him back, but at least you see things like this. It's great. Last year, and I want to bring this up too, because I saw a comment in the chat talk about J-Mo, what do you mean every time he touched the ball something happened? He had 8 drops. Okay, you have to understand, in the short amount of time he played when he came back, him and Jared Goff had no rapport. They couldn't work together in training camp. They couldn't work together in the summer. He was recovering from an ACL injury. So, again, as the season went on, when the chemistry started building, there's 2 plays. He touched the ball one time for 41 yards and a touchdown, and he touched it another time in the run game for 40 yards. And if you watch the Packers game, the Sunday primetime game to end the season, touched the ball again for a touchdown, but then it was called back. So if you think about it, 3 touches, 3 huge plays for J-Mo. So think about the potential that he brings to this offense. He takes this offense up an entirely another level. The most dangerous thing about the Lions offense last year was DJ Chark and how explosive he was, somebody that can take the top off. Right now, without J-Mo, I don't know who that's going to be. Maybe Khalif Raymond would be the guy, I guess. But regardless, when he gets back, he's going to unlock another part of this offense. So, again, I'm excited for J-Mo. I think he's going to hold up to what we all believe he will. I know people think, okay, he's on bust alert, whatever the narrative is. If he gets back, yes, the pressure's on him to perform, but I think he will. Because, again, he has the time now to work with Jared in OTAs and training camp. He's going to have that rapport already built in. So when he gets back, it's not like the guy has never caught a football from golf. It's going to be an easy, smooth transition as long as he, again, does what he has to do and he shows up. He's clearly the second best receiver on the team immediately. Probably with potential, you'd argue one. So I'm not worried about J-Mo at all. I know the expectations, we all have high expectations for J-Mo, which is fair. You're the 12th overall pick. Got to go out and perform. But when he gets back from injury, we should expect instant impact. I don't think there should be an easing process for Jameson Williams. We did that last year. He should be caught up. When he gets back after 6 games, it's time to roll.
This is essential because this is the time that he has with the team that he can practice with them. And this is the only time, I believe he can't practice with them after they make the roster cuts.
After they make final cuts, yep. So
this
he'll
is
be
the
through
time
training
that
camp
he has
into
with the
preseason,
team.
into
Yep. This
and
is
then
like
he's
the
cut
time.
off.
He is in like a crunch time because he has to make up for all the time that he's going to miss during this time, during OTAs, during minicamp, during training camp, during preseason. This is all that the team has to get him comfortable and locked in with the team before he goes into his suspension. So like you said, seeing him fitting in and making these moves and being very comfortable and having the good rapport with the team is crucial right now.
I think one of the biggest pluses about that is he's going to have up until final cuts are made, like you said, to get rapport. And then it's going to be a long 6 weeks. And look, what are expectations for Jameson Williams? That's kind of the direction I think we should go off of that, Gabby and Jeff, is he's going to play 11 games. I would say the first one, I'm not expecting him to explode on the scene. If he does, great, but I'm not expecting it. So over 10 games, really. What am I getting? I would like to see anywhere between 500 and 600 yards receiving, and anywhere from 3 to 6 touchdowns, depending on how active he's going to be running the football. I don't know how active, but that's going to be my expectation. It's tough for me to put a number on a guy that I haven't seen play in the NFL successfully. It's easy for me to look at Amon-Ra St. Brown and say, yeah, next year, about 100 catches, 1,250 yards, 6-7 touchdowns. I think that's fair, and a lot of you would agree with that. Tough for me to put a number on Sam Laporta. Jahmyr Gibbs, I'll go to rookies that were drafted similar position and be like, okay, what can his production be in this offense given the nature of the Lions offense, plus historically how these guys perform? Okay,
Right.
fine, I can come up with a number. But for a guy that's missed basically 23 games and is now going to play basically his rookie year this year, tough. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. JB, what do you think of the whole Jameson Williams situation? Optimistic?
I am. I'm a little bit optimistic. I know we talked about this on Heavyweights last night, but I'm kind of around the same range you have for him right now. 600 yards, at least 30 to 40 catches, maybe 8 touchdowns. That's just being hopeful for him right now. But, I mean, it's glad to see that he came out. He talked to the media. He fully addressed the whole gambling situation, how he was surprised about everything, and, he takes full responsibility for it. I mean, he's a young guy right now, and, it's just a learning process for him, this whole rules and everything that he has with the NFL. So, hey.
And the season doesn't start tomorrow, guys. Like, they still have plenty of time, especially Jared and Jameson Williams, to build rapport. Like, that's the thing, too. Yes, he's suspended, but after OTAs, they're gonna have a huge break, and then training camp starts and kicks up, and guys get back, and then things kick in before the season. Jared and J-Mo are going to have plenty of time. They've already had last year to gain some sort of chemistry. I know it was kind of just thrown together. It was kind of makeshift, especially during the season when the Lions were winning games. But now you have the entire offseason. Like, we shouldn't have to, at least in my opinion, I get what you're saying. Statistically, he's not going to explode his game one, but you should see his impact immediately. This offense.
3 of the easiest games on your schedule come in the first 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
They're layups. Tampa Bay, Atlanta, Carolina. Teams you expect to beat, right? You're a division favorite. You're going to be one of the 3-4 best teams in the NFC. You should expect to beat Atlanta, Carolina, and Tampa Bay.
Right.
You're on the road to Lambeau. I think you can win that game. And then there's the problem of week 1 and 2, which are very difficult games, where you go on the road to Arrowhead and then you host Seattle. Tough game.
Those
Tough
first
2
two.
weeks.
Those first two.
But I'm not going to sit here and worry. I'm just not. It's on Jameson Williams at this point. I think the Lions are a good enough football team to win the division with or without him.
I agree.
I think the offense, yes, will be much better with him. But I'm not going to sit here and get any more into Jameson Williams than I have to. He's looked good in OTA so far. Good things coming out of camp. Not that you expect anything bad. I mean, let's be honest. Jeff Okudah was the best corner in the NFL during OTAs his first 2 years, right? So, you take it all with a grain of salt, but the team is what it is. They've addressed the needs that they had. There are some that you still wanted them to, but hey, you're going to see how some players perform. Jack Campbell got riveting reviews yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
Jack Campbell, I don't want to quote Matt, so I hope I'm not wrong when I say this, but Matt's takeaway was, that is not a rookie. That's a ball player. That's a 3-4 year guy. Been here, done that. Ready to produce. I'm paraphrasing,
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure.
he called him a heat-seeking missile.
There you go.
That's how he plays football.
There
And
you
I
go.
think to your point about the division, I think without J-Mo, the Lions can still win the division. But with J-Mo, I think the separation's a little more. But to your point, even without J-Mo, go win the division.
Fair enough.
They should be able to do that.